Okay, hello everyone. I hope that this is coming through great and you can hear me. I want to go ahead and give some instructions. Of course, this says how to create an Adobe Spark web page, but we are actually going to be creating an Adobe Express page, not Adobe Spark, because it is now Express. One of the first things you will want to do is go to express.adobe.com. Once you get into that, you will see this screen right here. It may look a little bit different if you don't have an actual account. If you don't just sign into create an Adobe account, it shouldn't make you have to create a subscription. But if so, I'm going to say just do the trial. At this point, what you want to do is go in and you're going to click this blue circle here, which has a plus symbol in it. When you click on that, you will notice it turns to an X, and then you get this screen here that pops up. We will create a web page, but instead of hitting that, just go ahead, scroll down, and click web page. Same thing, just a little bit faster. The next thing that you want to do is go down to where it says create from scratch, because you will not need to use any of these templates to do this. So create from scratch. At that point, you will see this beautiful gray screen that actually says add a title on it. That is exactly what I have here, right? So you're going to go ahead and add in your name here where it says add a title. Whoops. And then at subtitle, you are going to put design one, or you can actually, which I have as an I, so to say, capital I, or you can just literally put the number one, whichever one you feel better with. But then you will also put the semester, which is actually, let's see, fall 25. And that is what you are going to have for your subtitle. And let's put a dash in between that so we have a little space there. This is how yours should be: your first name and then your last name, of course, for your title, and then for the subtitle, you will have, design one, fall 25. It does not matter if you if you're in certain sections. I just need to know that it's design one and it's from this semester. So if there should be any other semester, whatever semester you're in, that is the semester that you're going to put in there. And if it's design two or photography, it doesn't matter what it is, but whatever the class is, as well as the semester. So let's move on. For this actual, for design one, what I am requiring of you is in this area here, you're going to put an image. The image must be an image of yourself. So you will click, if you notice I just clicked on the page here, you can go ahead and click the plus symbol. It gives you the same exact thing. But when you click that, you will notice you get photo, short cover, and split layout. The only one that I do not want you to use is split layout. You can use photo and short cover, but not split layout. Now, when you look at this one is actually photo. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in photo, and I'm going to just create something because I don't actually have a specific subject that I need to do it on. So I'm going to create something, but it will be, let's say, dog lovers. How about that? And I'll just leave this here, and it's not lovers, it's lovers. Okay, there we go. So that's what I'm going to create for the day. Now, when you're doing yours, remember that it will be your name and then the semester as well as the class. From there, you're going to, like I said, click this plus symbol, or you can click anywhere in there. I'm going to go ahead and click photo. You will actually, at that point, go up here to where it says upload device. So whatever photo it is that you decide to use, you're going to save that on your computer so that you can upload it with no problem. So you'll click upload and it will take you to your actual pop-up screen to search for wherever your photo is stored. What I'm going to do is go ahead and search for some images of dogs. Okay, and from, whoops, well, let me do that again. Dogs. Work, right? There we go. So I am going to choose this cute little fellow right here. And there goes my actual photo of a dog, my actual image that I want to put in there. And from there, you can just scroll. When you start to scroll, you'll notice that your next, so to say, prompts go ahead and show up. Now you can also get it by just clicking that plus symbol, but if you do scroll up, it will automatically appear. At this point, you see add content and add layout. I'm going to go through what adding content looks like. So the first thing I want to do is let's scroll on this one and I can show you this is a photo. So what we're going to do is learn how to actually put a photo in there and see what the photo does. So let's go ahead and add this one in there. Let it go ahead and think and get in place. And there it is. So right now you are looking at it in line, as you can see right here. So this is what it looks like in line, which is exactly what this looks like. Well, I kind of want to change this up a little bit. I can look and see what actually, what options I have here. Fill screen will actually take it and fill up the whole screen. And as you scroll, you can see what happens. The image actually moves in to place. So it's larger and then it actually moves into place. And then you have a little caption here. So you are welcome to actually put something there. But let me explain something. When you are actually putting your assignments in, you want to label the assignment before you actually have the image of whatever that project is. So you want to actually hit text, and a heading will be perfect for that. And let's just say it was a balance project, you would put balance. If it was the qualities of light project in photography, you will put qualities of light. But you are going to put the title of whatever that project is in before you actually place any of those images in there. So you are introducing whatever that project is. So for me, I am just going to add something in here. And I would like to actually have this centered. Let's say we'll go ahead and click on it. And I'm going to click here where it says centered. And I'll go over the actual fonts and text and different things afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I'll leave the caption alone. I don't think I want a caption in there. But I will say when you have projects in, this is a good place to actually go ahead and put a description of whatever that project is. So the next thing I would like to do is I'm going to click on the photo and I'm going to go through them all so you can see what they look like. So we've saw inline. We know what that looks like. We've seen fill screen. Now I want to show you what window looks like. What it does is it creates a window. Now I'm going to move this over so you can see what happens. It creates a window and it doesn't matter how wide my screen is. It stays within that window. Okay. So the good thing about creating a Express web page is that it's responsive, and so you don't have to worry about doing anything. This is what it looks like if it's actually in the form of a say iPad. Obviously this is what it looks like if it's a computer. You'll also see that it looks like this when you have it in the form of a telephone, a phone. So what happens is it's like, so to say, one thing over another, and it actually creates a different look as it adjusts to the responsiveness. So let's get back to the image itself. Once again, all you would do is scroll and you can see this one doesn't go in and out, but it does move so that you can actually go through and you see what the picture looks like. Now, the thing about this, if you notice, it's cutting the image off. So if you decide that you're going to put a photo in here of one of your projects, your best bet is to ensure that you also place another image of it so that we can get the full image. because we don't want anything cut off. But it is something that's cool to introduce what that new project is. And then below, if you want to actually put that photo in, the full image in there, that's fine. But you do need to make sure that the whole image does show when you're actually putting your photos in here of the projects you're doing. I'm going to click back on the photo of the dogs, and I want to go to the last one, which actually shows full width. Full width actually keeps the full entire picture in place, and it shows at the full width of the screen. So as I move the screen, the image itself actually stays with the width of the actual screen size. So that's actually how you use the photos. And it's, like I said, it's either a photo, a text, a button. Get it out. I'm doing it wrong. Click that. It's either going to be inline, fill screen, window, or full width. Now let me back up a little bit because that just made me think about something else. If I go back up here, if you remember, there were two different things that you could use, but one you couldn't. So when I click on this, it'll show you short cover is the one that is not just photo, but it's actually a different look of what the short cover is. You will not use split layout for this landing part, this top part up here. But if you click short cover, I want to show you what it looks like. It makes it a little bit smaller and puts it in place. I do want you to know that if you, let's say your image doesn't come in the way you want it, you can click back on that. Let's move to the bottom. Click back on that and click focal point. When you click focal point, it allows you to take that little circle and move it to where you want to make sure that that picture shows up the way you want it to. So let's say I put it up here so I can see both of his ears really well. And maybe I don't care about whether his mouth is cut off. I do want to see his eyes and his ears. So I move it up a little bit and then I click save. And as you see, it does cut off the bottom, but it does have his ears in here a little bit better. I can move that up a little bit more. Or if I want, I can just go ahead and keep the mouth and leave let the ears cut off. Either way, just wanted you to realize you can adjust that image within that area there. I'm just going to leave it like that and let's go on and keep moving. Let's go back down to where we were. So we've understood what we can do for that landing area. We understand what we can do with photos. So let's move on to text. So I'm going to scroll up, and when I do that, it then gives me the option after photo to go ahead and click text. So I'm just going to move this up here so we can see what the different text looks like. Now, when I click on text, what happens is it goes into a place to where it's in paragraph form. So let me go ahead and type a few things here. Okay, so let's just say I'm happy with that. As you see, it does go in as paragraph form, and I might be able to spell a little bit better if I kind of take my time there, right? So at this point, I can click on this text and it will allow me to then choose different things for it. So let's say I want to make this the largest heading, which is heading 1, H1. You can see the size of that. If I go to H2, you see what that looks like. Then there's something that's called block quote. And you can see then it actually shows a little line here on the side. And then it has my text in italicized wording. Then it also has an unordered list, which is bullets, and then also an ordered list, which is numbered. So I wanted you to see that that is also what you can do. You can see that you can actually make them bold. You can italicize, and you can also even create a link with it. So if you hit create link, you're going to actually have to put a URL in there. So just know that. So I'm going to click back on it, and I'm going to actually keep it at heading 2, but that allows you to see what the heading 1 looks like, the heading 2, the quotation, block quotations, regular text as bold as well as italicized. So we have gone through all of the text options there, but do know also if you want, you can either left justify it as it is there, or you can center it and you can also write justify it. So you are able to change the text so that it's centered the way you want to. So let's keep it moving. I'm going to scroll down and then go ahead and move up so you can see this is a button here. So you can see if I scroll off of it, the cursor goes to a regular cursor, but when I scroll over it, you see that it is live and it is active. So this is actually a button. So let's create a button over here. So one of the first things I want to do, let's say I'm going to go to YouTube just to get a video of dogs. So I can actually
what you want to do is save hundreds from Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
Not cats.
I can ask.
Cute. Let's go with that one.
But he's not going to.
Out of our way, we would like to save this, share, and I'm going to copy this link here, and I'm going to come out of that and come back over here. So I've saved that link just so I can use that for different things here. So I have my button that I want to create. Once again, all you have to do is scroll down, scrolling upward or whatever. When you scroll towards the bottom, this automatically shows up. I'm going to go ahead and click button, and I'm going to name it dogs. And then I'm going to paste my URL in here. And it also allows you to align it the way you want, left, centered, or right. I'm going to go ahead and center it. I think that'd be nicer. And as you can see, there is my button. So the next thing, as you see, is an actual video. So I'll scroll up again, and you can see here there's a GIF. Not something you're going to need for any of the classes, but just do know if you decided you wanted to use a GIF for any reason, you do have to actually get it from Giphy, as you can see here, and it gives you the web address for that. So we're going to cancel that because we're not going to do a GIF, but we would like to do a video. So I'm going to click on video, and I'm just going to input that URL that I copied from YouTube, and it's upset with me. Why is it saying that? Let's see here. Let's try that again. Why is it being rude? Save. Add a link from Express, YouTube, or Vimeo, and that's the only places you can get it from, and we know that was YouTube that I got that from. Let's try that again, just to be on the safe side. Share, copy. Let's see if it's going to be rude to me again. There. So, funniest viral dogs ever. There we are, in place, my video. So, easy enough. Once again, just copy the URL, put it in there, and your video actually shows up. So after that, you can see that we are looking at photos here. The next thing on here is your stuff. Now that is something new, and that is if you already have things that are already created within Express, then you would click your stuff and it shows everything that you've created. So right here, this is showing things that I've already created before. Obviously, we don't need to do that. I'm just going to close that out. And what you need to know is when it comes to photos, you then want to go down here to add a layout. So let's see the photo grid first. And at this point, I'm just going to start choosing photos that I think are absolutely adorable and that I want to show. So that's good enough. I have all my photos here. So for you, remember, you're going to go to upload and you're going to choose the photos that you need of the projects that you've done. So there are different things that you can do. And you see it automatically puts it into an actual grid. But if you're not pleased with that grid, then you can change it around. So let's just say I see this video, but I want this bigger. I don't want it the size that it's at. I can either replace it, I can enlarge it, and I can move it backward and forward. I'm going to click make it larger because that's what I want to do. But I also want it at the very top. I want it to be the very first thing. And unfortunately, you can see it cuts off some of them, but that's okay. I'm happy with that. I want to move that, and I'm going to keep clicking until it gets all the way to the very top. So it's up here. And as you notice, as I moved it, these photos actually adjusted the way they wanted to. So let's just say I decided that I want this one enlarged as well. Of course, as you see, it's cutting them off. Now, if I move this to make it larger, it still does the same thing. As you see, it just makes it, larger to go with the screen. But let's say I'm kind of not happy with it because it does cuts them off so much. Let's say I go back to it, making it smaller. And I decide that I'm going to take this one and move it down. So let's move that. It says forward, but it's actually moving it the opposite way. And let's say I'm pretty much pleased with that the way it is. And so at that point, I'm going to click save. And there is my actual photo grid. So next thing is actually going to be a glide show. And you'll notice on most of my lectures, this is actually how I create my lecture. I like to use the glide show. So anyway, if you notice here, what happens when I look at the glide show that's created, it shows the image that I have in there, and all I have to do is scroll upward. And as I scroll, you'll see that there is actually a transparent box that allows you to do the same thing that you've done in the other places, adding photos, adding text, a button, video, so on and so forth. So we're going to create that. So I'm going to choose one image that I want to be in the background. And so let's say I go with this one here. Now I'm going to save it. There it is after it's in there. But if you notice, it has cropped the image. So if you decide to do this, it's going to crop the image. Once again, you want to ensure that this full image is still being shown. So in this little box that you have, maybe you could go ahead and put the text and put what the name of that project is, because remember, we do have to actually introduce our project. I'm going to say Happy Dogs. Well, let's just say yours was a project name, and I'm going to make that my heading 1. I'm happy with that, but I also want to center it. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to move down, and I'm going to go ahead and get another photo, and I want it to be the same photo I have here because I want to show the entire photo. So there you can see the entire photo, and this is just a really cool background that allows you to kind of give people a sneak peek of that photo. Once again, you can see in this box, you can create and do everything that you've done before. All you have to do is click that plus symbol, and then it gives you the options of what you want to do. Now, something else that is new is table of contents. Click on that, and as you can see, dog lovers and dogs are beautiful. That was the very first thing I put up there. So that's actually going to take me to the top. I love dogs because they are man's best friend. Remember, that was one of the second things I typed. And then the last thing was right up here, happy dogs. So basically it gives you, like if you have any titling or anything like that, it's going to actually put it within that table of contents. So those are the things that you can do there. So let's move on just a little bit longer here. Split layout is the very last one I want to show you here. You click on split layout. And here you can see there's an image, and then you can actually place something here. So I'm going to go ahead, grab another photo. Let's get this cute little fella here. And you can see after it gets in there, it crops it once again. That's something that happens quite often. If you move it over, you can see it does give him a little bit more room to be in place. But you do have to take into effect that if you're making it smaller, it is going to go up to the top, which is fine because you still get to see a good size of them. But if it's, say, an iPad and it's small like this, it's going to crop it. If it crops it and you don't know what a person's actually using to look at your stuff, then you may want to actually replace that photo, or you can just, give information and maybe even a button to show the actual photo in full. So remember that you can do that as well. If you notice, it does allow you to change the focus, and we can move it over so that it's on his nose and we get all of his face in there, and no problems with cropping his face out. But anyway, at this point on the opposite side, it gives you those same options again: photo, text, button, GIF, video, your stuff, and table of contents. So this is exactly how you will create your actual web page. It's not hard at all. There are a few things left that I want you to see in this, and that is, I'll just go ahead and open this up fully so you can see what I'm talking about. You can name it right here. And so for the most part, I've told you whatever project it is that you're working on, but for this, basically you can actually put your name and then you're going to do the same thing you did before by putting whatever class it is, as well as what semester it is. So that will be the name of it. Hit return, and you can see that it changes here as well. If you look over here, you can see there's symbols, but there's one thing that you do need to see that will actually guide you as to how your stuff looks. And let's say that it's going to be like a paint palette symbol, and you can see it says themes. When I click on that, it shows you exactly the themes that we have here, but it also shows you create new themes, so you could actually create your own. A little bit more work, but if it's something that you want to do, fine. If not, and you decide, okay, I like these over here, you can just go ahead and choose something from over here. Right now, you can see that crisp is what is lit up, and that's what this is. But when you change and you look at any of the other ones, you'll notice that it's going to change what everything looks like. It changes the fonts, it changes the colors, where this now has different color background. It's not like white anymore. But in this little transparent box here, it's actually got a color to it as well. So you'll notice that the different what do you call it? Themes will actually have different looks to them. So you can play around with those to see which theme you like. Also know that it changes the text, like I said, and these are things that you can't change. They're already set. You would actually have to go behind the scene and, so to say, change the code. And we don't have time for that. This is just going to be what you have the options to do here. And then if you want to create your own. So the last thing that you need to know is that you're going to have to publish this. So to publish it, you need to click over here where it says share. When you click that, you click publish to web. It has already gotten the title in there. You're going to leave this, or you're going to put information in there. You're going to notice, to be honest, you're not going to have any credits in here. The credits are automatically showing because I chose all these photos from the iStock. So that is why you see Adobe stock, excuse me. That is why you actually see all of the credits already in here. Your name is going to be in there because it's your account. Now, if you want your name to show, you will click this and your name will automatically show up at the bottom of it. I will allow others to remix. I would probably say no. You don't want anybody to change what you've already worked on and what you did. The header and footer is going to show. Make sure that is clicked here. And then password protection, not necessary, completely up to you. But if you do that, if you, so to say, you put it in the assignment and send it to me, I'm going to actually have to have a password to open it up. So I'm going to highly suggest you do not do that to send it to me. So you click create link. It's going to go through and publish the actual website, and it's going to create its own link. What you're going to need to do is copy that link once it's done, and you're going to input that into the assignment itself so that you're submitting the actual web page. And that is it. I will say, once you when you're starting to work on this, it saves automatically, so it's not something that you have to go in and try to save as well. If you come out of this and go back into it by clicking the link, it's going to take you right back to it. You won't have any problem. If you are wanting to send something in, like say you want to use this for a presentation, you can also click present, and it then goes through into presentation form, and you can see that you would see the entire thing that you've created, but you can't edit it in this area. It's just for presentation view. It has the credits at the bottom, and it has the your name where you know showing that you created it. That is good people. Let's come out of that. Hopefully this should help you create a beautiful web page, ensuring that you put all of your projects in here and you are showing your work for the whole entire semester. That's it. Have a great day and be happy.